Today we're going to jump into working on this free 300ZX we got from Jeff, the former police officer. And if you want to catch up on the series, I'll have this video attached to the playlist where you can see all of them in order. But today I want to get started with some of the major issues that are going on with this car. Now, yes, there is some rust going on, but since I've determined that I want to save it, I'm not too worried about this right now because I can just find these panels later. Personally, when I'm building a car, the things that are most important are drivability concerns. So one of the main things that's happening is actually a typical 300ZX problem. Sometimes when you go to start the car, doesn't matter if it's hot or cold or nothing, it'll just grind the flywheel. Let's see if it'll happen. Wow, look at the draw. It actually happened that time. So that's pretty common. The fix for that, and this is in forums, and I just think this is hilarious, is you put the car in 5th gear, you get out of the car and you rock it. And the goal for doing all of that is to hopefully move the flywheel just a little bit, like 1 tooth over, so the starter can engage properly. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I still haven't determined what the actual fix for this is, but while I'm under the car doing an oil change, I'm going to inspect the starter and see if it's attached properly, or if we need to put spacers on it. I'm not sure. It hasn't even been 3,000 miles, but since this car had been sitting for 5-ish years, I wanted to change the oil a little bit early for the first time. Additionally, the parking brake, or e-brake, does not work at all. It makes no difference when you pull it all the way up. So I want to take off the rear wheels. I want to inspect the parking brake, the shoes, the hardware, see if it just needs to be adjusted. I don't know how I forgot this. This is one of the things that bothers me the most. The shift knob has so much play. This is in gear right now, by the way. Neutral. Forward and backward has play, side to side. In gear and out of gear. Up and down isn't too bad. Luckily, Peyton gave us one of his old shift linkages. So if anything is damaged on the car, we can replace it with this one. Additionally, I went and purchased a brand new shift plate. This has a rubber bushing on it that holds up this entire shift linkage. Pretty interesting design. I'm honestly just assuming that the one on the car is busted. I'm shocked you can still buy these. It has a new logo Nissan badge on it, which tells me they're still producing these, so maybe it's just known that these go out. I don't know. Oh yeah, and the fog lights don't work for some reason. Maybe we'll have time to diag that. All right, I'm talking about too many issues here. Let's just get started. The ball will be rolling. Since I'm absolutely dreading doing the parking brake, I'm gonna do that first because then everything else will feel easier. So before I go through the entire process of taking off the caliper and the rotor, which isn't that crazy, I'm gonna see if I can just spin the adjustment anchor pin on the bottom and if that will make any changes. From the looks of it, it's still in there. I know it's like impossible to see, but I can feel the teeth and it moves freely, so it might be worth trying first. Like you guys have commented before, helping me out doing the Green Z and Tim's G35, I have the handbrake all the way down, and then I'm spinning this adjustment until I can feel it dragging on the rotor, and then I'll take it back a few spins just to make sure it's relieving that pressure and it's not dragging. So far I've got quite a few spins and it's still not really catching. Now I will say, I don't know if Jeff has a different diff in this car than mine. I will say the backing of it does look different. You can see these fins that protrude out of the subframe. I don't think mine has that. I don't remember it looking like that. He might have some upgraded differential on there, which is making it really hard to spin. Yes, it is in neutral. I did check. The calipers are not seized. You can see it moves freely right there. It's gonna be a struggle, but we'll get it figured out. Okay, I ended up getting it to a point where it does lock, which is great news. It was just really far out of adjustment. So now we'll just spin it back a few turns. Oh yeah, see, now we're good. Now it moves again. Now we'll adjust the other side and see how the handbrake feels. I went ahead and adjusted this side. Let's see how the handbrake feels now. Oh, dude, I can't even pull it all the way up like I did before. Well, that's ready for a test drive. Let's continue on. I think I want to jack up the front end next. And while I'm draining the oil, I'm gonna look at that starter issue. All right. Pretty dark already, especially for only 2,000 miles. But you know what? At least there's not coolant or water in there. Now, I typically like to use OEM filters, but they were having this killer deal on these K&N filters. I've always heard good things about K&N, so I'm not sure. Would you guys run K&N or OEM? Unlike most cars that I've worked on, this starter bolts directly to the transmission, not the engine side. There's 2 bolts that hold it on, one here and one right above it. And what people have said to do in the forums is to apply a washer in between the bolt and the starter, and it looks like this already has the washer mod on it. I'm just gonna make sure that it's tight. No, it's tight. If you guys got a fix for this, please let me know. And while I'm looking under here, Seeing some other things I want to order and replace, like these steering bushings. Luckily, everything else looks to be in good shape. Next, I want to do a quick diag on these fog lights. Luckily, you can get access to them from under the bumper. They do have to come off from the backside. The nuts are actually on the bash bar itself. I'm still shocked that this has both of the outside inserts. Those are really hard to find. Oh wow, that was just barely hanging on. Now to replace the bulb, or at least inspect it, we gotta split it in half. Looks like we got 4 Phillips screws. To me, that looks good. But we can test that. So check out this contraption. I have a jumper lead on the power side of this light, and then I put the ground around the housing here. So all we gotta do is turn on this jump pack, and it should work. And it does work. So that tells me we got a different problem. Before I get ahead of myself, I need to make sure I put oil in this engine. Oh, thank God, no spill. The top end is still looking pretty clean. I still need to figure out that engine cover situation. I didn't want to just put a crusty cover back on. You know, I needed to like refresh it a little bit. Looks like we're caught up with everything under the hood. I'm gonna go under the car and see if I can find the shift linkage and notice anything out of whack. You know, I forget how nice I have it with my KA car because I don't have any of this stuff in the way. I can hardly even see the shift linkage up there. This is gonna be really difficult. The center console is going to have to come off regardless if we want to replace the shifter. So I'm going to start trying to carefully remove all of the OEM trim pieces. Jeff still has all of these clips, and these hide all the hardware that's behind them. It makes it look really nice and fresh in here. Oh, so far so good. I don't even know if they still sell these pieces. I'm pretty sure all that's left is clips that hold it in. So just pull up on it. Don't want to break it though. It's so old and fragile. Oh, there we go. You think the shift knob will come loose? Oh, I highly doubt it. Oh. Oh, it's barely going. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a mission. It's known for the shift knobs to be cemented on, the factory ones at least. And this is a factory one, and it's over 30 years old. You just sneak it to the side, hopefully. Well, I guess we're gonna have to take it off, especially if we have to replace the shifter. I might need to go grab a pipe wrench. This thing is old and crusty anyway, so it's not like it's too much of a loss. You can always throw something else on for now. I hope that's not stripping and it's actually coming loose. This should be a crime. Channel locks on leather. Man, it's still tough. Apparently Nissan uses blue Loctite from the factory to secure these. I hope that's not stripping. Doesn't seem to be coming out, or is it? Did I speak too soon? Oh, we got it. You can see the Loctite on there too. Let's remove this now. Swing that over. Now here's that shifter plate I was talking about. Looks like this boot is torn. Luckily I have a good one of those. Let's determine if that bushing has failed. All right, I can't really see it from here. All right, let's take off this bolt back here. We might as well just take off this plate. We got a new one. We're gonna throw it on. You know, while I'm in here, I might just grab the vacuum and get all these little crusties out of here. Who knows, there's probably mice living in here at one point. I've noticed that mice love to live in Z's. Must be like a 5-star hotel for them. There's so many cozy spots to find in here. I mean, just look at that. Doesn't it look cozy if you're a mouse? Bolts are out. Unfortunately, we had one casualty due to rust. Oh well. Still forgot to take that one out. That's already garbage. Could I get to the bolts from here? That would be great if I could. Okay, check it out. Right here, you can see the bolts. And you can see the play happening from the shift knob that goes into the bolts. I think the rubber within the shifter is what's broken, which is great because then I don't have to replace this entire arm, which would be a pain. I don't see the arm moving. I only see the shifter moving. When I say moving, I mean left and right. The arm just goes up and down, which is totally normal. Also, check this out. This came out when I pulled the center console up. It's a little piece of paper. It's the Bose factory option label. Sigma, that word was being used in the late 80s. How about that? 2+2 center channel. Because this has the Bose optional speaker right here. And I think all the other speakers are different too. Mine didn't come with it. This car did, but the radio doesn't work, so couldn't really test it. You can see the faceplate here though. Pretty cool, especially from a car in 1989. That's pretty neat. I am just praying to the rust gods that they will allow these nuts and bolts to come off of this piece. That looks pretty crusty down there. Believe it or not, I was able to get the shifter out without going under the car. This is supposed to have a rubber bushing in it, so this sleeve was just bouncing around in here. And you can tell how long it was happening based on how bowed this is. That's crazy. So over here, we have this good one, for example. See how you can push this in and out? That's what you're looking for. Looks like the rubber just completely disintegrated on this one. And this one's rust-free, so all the hardware is nice and loose. Super nice. I'm surprised these studs didn't snap off, taking them out. The nuts and studs, that is. Yeah, even this boot was broken on the bottom and dry rotted. This one looks brand new. I wonder how many miles this thing had. It really does look pretty fresh. As for the old center plate, surprisingly, this rubber bushing is still intact. Can't believe it. It's pretty crusty all around it though. But you know, since we have it, we're gonna put a brand new one on there. It just looks fresh. Not that we're ever gonna see it. All right, this will be our first official test to see if the shifter got any better. Oh my gosh, significant. This is the play now in neutral. Nothing up and down, of course. We got a new shift plate on there. In gear play. Oh my goodness. There's nothing that bothers me more than a sloppy shifter and a non-working e-brake. Whew, we just transformed this car. I just realized I put this nut on too soon. I have to put on this boot first. You can see it clamps down here. Before we put all the interior trim back together, let's assess the slop in the parking brake. Now we did already adjust the drums and we verified that this works. Now we can tighten the handle. I don't know if you can tell, but this is just straight slop. First like 5 or 6 clicks, nothing happens. There's a little bolt right here, and this will tighten both cables simultaneously. Something important to note is this shifter is directional, and I just realized I put it on backwards. I gotta rotate it 180. You can tell because when you shift forward, it goes pretty close, and then when you shift it towards the back, it's honestly where it should be, in neutral. They're bowed just a little bit, and that's enough to make me notice it, which is gonna bother me, so I'm gonna take it all back apart and rotate it 180. Back and better than ever. But I did notice that there's some damage on the threads here. I kind of wish I saw that before I put it on, although at least I won't have to hold it in position. I'm gonna clean it up with this thread chaser. The shifter thread on these 90s Nissans are M10 by 1.25. Oh yeah, it's crusty. You can hear it. Much needed. Those threads are looking better than ever. Now, time to pick out a shift knob. Do we want to put this factory knob back on? It's kind of crusty. I got this Velside one. I'm not sure what thread pitch this one is. Okay, so not that one. Dang, that's unfortunate. Or this Tomei. This came out of my S13. I think there's one obvious answer here. I'll just leave this in the glove box just in case. I definitely like this one much more. Oh, no way. And the logo's straight? Yeah, meant to be. Oh man, that feels so good. Whew. Well, guess we'll start it up. See if it still grinds. Okay, another problem to fix. Oh my god. This car has an underdrive pulley, which means the belt lengths are different. So I'm gonna have to order those belts. That might have to be a next day type of project. I gotta do some research and find out what part numbers those belts are. But hey, for today's progress, I'm pretty excited. Let's see if that e-brake works. I'm gonna drive up off the wood blocks. Oh, I should probably put the e-brake down. Neutral, I'm gonna roll back and just pull it. Oh, it works. Thank God. That's such a relief. I'm also having this weird issue from time to time where it'll die out at idle. I'm not seeing or hearing any obvious vacuum leaks, so I'm gonna just look around and see if I can find anything. I also have a spare map sensor that's actually came with my Z, so maybe I'll try and put this on, see what's up with it. Wiring looks good. Looks like it has a big aftermarket filter on there too. This intake filter does seem to be full of debris. Who knows how old it is. So I'm gonna order a new filter, and then that's when I'll slap on the new MAF and really test that out. But you can hear it bog down now that it's warmed up a little bit. I'll give it a small rev. And it nearly dies every time. Sometimes it will. Always something with these cars. I think we're due for a test drive. Oh, but also I wanted to show you the fog light situation. So here's the light switch, right? So technically the fog lights only turn on when the headlights are on. So it's hard to see here, but you turn it up one notch, now we're on park lights. Turn it up the next notch, now we're on headlights. So when you push the fog light button, this should light up yellow. It's not doing anything. Maybe there's a fog light fuse I'm missing here. Unless it's under the hood? Let's see. Oh, there's a fog light fuse. Fuse is good though. Back to square one. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it shifts so nice. Nothing like a good shifter. No play in gear, so good. Now we did a lot of maintenance today, so I'm gonna make sure to add all of that to our log, date, mileage, and what you did. You guys already know I had to take it to the spot. So good. Also, it looks like it's a full moon. How far can this Android zoom? Oh wow. That's pretty cool. I did receive one of the belts for the Z, but unfortunately not the other two. I'm gonna wait to start doing the belts until I have all three here. And I asked for some feedback in the last video, and you guys gave me a lot of good answers. And I really do appreciate the honest feedback from you guys. It really does mean a lot. It goes a long way. Filming, planning, and editing all of these videos myself has been a great time. It's a lot of work, but you know what? It's worth it at the end of the day, because I'm able to build these cars exactly how I want them. Although I would like a lip kit and chrome wheels on this, but you know what I'm saying. So I want to thank you guys for sticking around yet again. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Check if you're still subscribed. I know some people have been getting unsubscribed randomly from YouTube. YouTube has a history of doing that. But either way, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.